Welcome to the Regular Joe's Podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Okie dokie. Lots to talk about today, everyone. Lots coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. None of us were there, and in fact, our good friend and listener, Eben, was there. He said, check out his feed, Eben the Collector. But none of us were there. But we've seen and read a lot of stuff. And we have really not spoken, not that it was just 2 days ago, but we haven't spoken about it at all. So that's the essence of this podcast from its inception, of us talking to each other like we normally would. Now we're just recording it.
Because having a nerdy conversation, we now record it and call it a podcast.
Exactly. So we're explaining
this 441 episodes in.
442.
No, I'm just saying, I think this does go back to the original nature.
Okay.
I mean, some things we do to be put on the air, but this is all stuff that we would normally have talked about.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, we've told this story before, but the idea to do this podcast came up at a convention. So
Exactly.
Conventions are in the DNA of the podcast.
They are. Oh, by the way, are you still thinking of going that one in August on Sunday? Because I think I've got it over the.
You think you worked it out? You think you worked it
got
out?
It over the hump.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we should talk about it because I have to go somewhere 2 days later, and it's a really long drive. But I might be able to swing it.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. For Newt, I might be able to swing it.
Yeah. Random that's not news out of San Diego Comic-Con. Barry, what do you got?
So, Mark Hamill posted something on the internet over the weekend that I just thought was mind-blowing. He posted a picture of himself in the Stormtrooper gear when he was going to rescue Princess Leia, when he had the helmet off. And he said, things I kept from Star Wars, that helmet. So, all these years, he has publicly stated that he had a lightsaber. Now we're finding out he's got a Stormtrooper helmet. Probably the most valuable Stormtrooper helmet not in the Lucasfilm archives.
Question,
Can you imagine?
That's insane.
I would say more expensive than the Lucasfilm archives.
I mean, that is the hero helmet. That is.
But it's his. Something, if they were to sell one out of the archives, or one that's been in his possession for 40 whatever years, I would think that one would sell for more.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I texted you about it. Like, I just hope he's actually stored it properly and taken care of it and hasn't let his kids play with it for when they were little and damaged it and dinged it. I find
that hard to believe. Well, he needs to call Gino and have him fix
restore
it up for him.
Yeah, but holy crap! I mean, what else does he have?
I know, but that is the most valuable Stormtrooper helmet. And you know, it's funny. This actually ties right into my random. But two have gone up for auction in the past week. One sold, right? For what did it sell for? Do you know off the hand?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Julian's auction.
It was a couple $100,000.
$180,000.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the. I don't know if that was.
I feel like with the buyer's premium, it was over $2.
Yeah.
And
then their heritage auction just happened this weekend. Now, I think the authenticity is pretty good. I mentioned this guy, Gino Sabatini. I don't know the guy, but he's sort of a restorer of helmets and things.
And he is sort of
legit.
The world's one of the world's experts on Stormtrooper helmets. He's actually restored a few of them. And they have traced this one back, and they've identified it as the one that the guy was wearing when he said, "Blast that ship." Yeah. So they were marketing it as legit. The "Blast that ship" helmet.
But the problem is, its opening bid for this heritage auction was $300,000. It did not sell.
Yeah, it didn't. Nobody bid. So
that's. I mean, it's funny that one opening bid was like $125 or something. I don't remember the number, and then this was $300. I guess people are testing the waters. It didn't sell. So.
Yeah, well, I guess that establishes the price of a Stormtrooper helmet somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000.
I feel like Prop Store will get more.
One. Yeah, I think
because Prop Store seems to be a little more of a.
It also felt to me, and I realize that this is the way these things are done, but it was like 4:00 in the afternoon on the East Coast on a Saturday. It just felt like a weird time of day to be auctioning something they were looking to get maximum
That's
attention
a big freaking price tag, though. It's
It is.
starting. Put a reserve on it and start it at $175. I mean, that's Anyway, here's my question. I've been thinking this for weeks because this is like, when was the prop store auction? Probably 2 months ago. Not even, right?
Yep.
Wasn't there a Stormtrooper helmet in there or something? Anyway, there's a lot. Where's all the X-Wing helmets? That's what I'd like to know. Have we seen any up for auction, at least since we've been paying attention to auctions?
No, not that I've ever seen.
I'm curious about that. Why have we not seen any of those?
It's
a really
fair
good question because, I mean, there's nowhere near as many, but...
Well, I don't know
from the
about
original
that, Todd.
movie?
They said that there were only 6 Stormtrooper helmets made for A New Hope.
There were 6 heroes. There were more
A
backgrounds.
lot of background ones.
The green plastic ones that were painted. So even if there were, I thought, again, I can't remember. We're listening to what's the podcast called?
Stuff that Dreams are made of. Yeah.
I thought that was Gino was on. I thought they said 20 backgrounds and 6 heroes.
That makes a lot more sense.
I feel like there were more or as many X-Wing helmets.
There should have been,
a lot of people. And again,
well, and the X-Wing and the Y-Wing pilot helmets were all basically the same, and they got reused. I mean, they reused them as snowspeeder pilots.
I mean, they were also. God, I wonder if those are repurposed for something else.
That's what I'm wondering, if they were, say, fighter pilot helmets.
Oh, I'm sure that the base
that
is a
they
fighter
made,
pilot,
and then they took them apart.
I'm wondering whether they got used in something stupid like Starship Troopers or something like, I'm saying, something like that, where they just rounded them all up.
I know.
And Lucas may have a few of them in the archives. I'd have to go back. I haven't opened those books in years, but I have all those archive books.
Yeah.
They may have photos in there, and then maybe like the main ones, like Luke's and Wedges and whatever. Those might be in the archives. But yeah, there were enough of them that
they should come out. I mean, we haven't been in the prop totally submersed into or immersed in the prop
I'm also
world
wondering
for a long time.
If because those are each unique, that and Lucasfilm has asserted ownership of all that stuff, whether those have just been kept below the radar, whether people will not put these in an auction if they've got them, because
they're being very specific about the Stormtrooper helmets, like screen matching them and saying this is the one.
No, I'm talking about historically. They've been, it's like where these
but
have
if
been.
You think about it, if they reuse them in Empire as snowspeeder helmets, then that means they repainted them all. So like Gold Leader's helmet.
Snowspeeder helmets, different color.
Oh yeah,
different paint.
Well, when you think about like Gold Leader and like some of the other helmets were like they had green helmets, they had all different kind of helmets, and for the snowspeeders, I believe they were all painted fairly similarly.
Like, where's Luke's helmet? I wonder. I'm
pretty sure that helmet I've seen at one of the. I'd have to go back through my photos, but I'm pretty sure that we've seen Luke's helmet. Yeah. It's either his X-Wing or his snowspeeder helmet on display.
Yeah, but it's just weird. That's not something
that's
you would think it would be at least as common as Stormtrooper helmets, and we haven't seen any in the past 5 years.
Yeah, or it could just be that the handful of them that are in public hands are deep in collections that are never coming out, or have yet to come out.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Spina that. I wonder if he's ever come across one. And if he did and can't talk about it, we're not going to tell you.
That's true. But he'll tell us, but we won't tell you.
Yes. Todd, what do you got?
Paul Sorvino passed away today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I read that earlier.
You dated his daughter for a little while, didn't you?
Yeah. And though...
She doesn't know it.
I'm not supposed to talk about that because of the restraining order, but... yeah, just a great actor. Been in a million things, a lot of things that I really like. I mean, he's Worf's foster father. He was in Rocketeer.
Oh, yeah.
And all these just, he had a TV series at one point, and then just was in Goodfellas, and just like a working man's actor who's just been in everything over the years. I used to work with his nephew's wife. And so I was 3 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon by virtue of that, because they were in JFK together, and now that's gone. But just like every one of these people in Hollywood that just everybody always says good stuff about, and he was only 83, so it's just sad to see him go so soon. But again, in just about everything, he's one of those people that just popped up everywhere.
Oh yeah, there was a period of time where it felt like he was literally in everything.
Yeah. Yep. And
I got his autograph for a friend at I think at Chiller, and he was nice, very personable. And I asked him. There was a quote that I always said to this guy I worked with, and I had him write, quote from Goodfellas, and I had him write that, and he was asking me like, what, about it. Just made conversation. It was very nice.
Yeah, good dude. Good dude. Good actor.
Barry, you got something else?
I do, and I know you said nothing from San Diego. This is something that was said at San Diego, but it's not news. But I just thought that this was interesting, and you can take this for what it's worth. But when asked during a panel, William Shatner was asked by a fan if there were any Star Trek series he thought rivaled his own. Shatner's reply was, none of them. He then said, I got to know Gene Roddenberry in the 3 years fairly well. He'd be turning in his grave at some of this stuff.
At some of this stuff, I would absolutely agree.
I would absolutely agree too.
Yeah, I would agree too.
Yep.
I feel like at that panel he was very much. It was a lot of humor.
There was,
and
I also just feel like at 91 he has absolutely no filter left. So.
Yeah, he would totally. Some of it's horrible. There's no doubt. Todd, you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Do we want to? I saw a quote, and this is pre-San Diego Comic-Con. Keanu Reeves said he'd like to play Batman at some point. And he said if they ever circled around to another older Batman, he would consider it. What does anyone think of that?
It would have to be like Dark Knight type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, how old is Keanu Reeves now? 55?
He's well into his 50s. He looks good for his age.
Yeah. I think we can accept that like everyone at some point has wanted to play either Batman or Superman. And, I mean, that's nice. I don't think that's the direction they want to go in at this point. I wouldn't have minded seeing, a couple, Ben Affleck movies with him as Batman playing an older Batman.
Yeah. I thought he did a good job.
Reestablishing a different older Batman would be really odd at this point.
I also, for what it's worth, like Ben
Michael
Affleck
Keaton.
was,
who's
Ben
playing
Affleck
older Batman?
No, but I'm saying
build.
but you're not reestablishing. You're taking.
No, I know. It's so they're just their timeline is just all over.
Oh yeah, no, it is, but yeah. Anyways, so.
Ben Affleck had the build though for sort of that old grizzled Batman, and Keanu Reeves just doesn't.
And you got to be that thick kind of, and he had that. He
Yeah, I think he did a good job.
Yeah, I think so too.
And we've talked about that.
Yeah. So
hopefully his marriage lasts.
You know who else does a good job?
Fanboy Collectibles. I know that. All right, a lot of stuff. Thank you, Barry. Gentle Giant statues, Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, Vader, Iron Man bust. Todd, I'm surprised what's in the box is not something that's in stock. The tumbler.
I will be picking it up. I will be driving down there this week and picking it up because this thing.
This
baby is big.
Did you order that?
Oh, yeah. I knew he ordered it.
I did. Yeah. I had an Iron Man figure that came in also, so they can't because they're so big. They can't be shipped together. And I said, you know what? It's time to just stop in.
Did you just send Troy your whole paycheck this month?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's. Yeah. So and also every time I go down there, I find stuff that I need that I didn't.
When you got to tell me when you're going because I'll meet you there maybe
Thursday. I'm thinking right now Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Possibly Wednesday.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that.
So
I have to work.
If you did meet me there, I could hand off something for you to give to Barry when you see Barry. So at that.
When we go see Newt.
Yeah. So that's still sitting here. Anyways, possibly. Lots of really awesome stuff, and yeah.
2 Wolverines from Days of Future Past.
Now, let me just say, if you're looking at the Hot Toys Days of Future Past Wolverine, you've got to open it up and scroll down and note that he comes with an alternate shirt. Because when I first saw it, I was like, seriously? They gave him that like bad 70s shirt? He also comes with a black shirt, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
there's also Ahsoka, Hot Toys Ahsoka from Clone Wars.
which is
this
really,
Obi-Wan statue, by the way, the Gentle Giant Obi-Wan statue looks amazing.
It does.
Did you look at the head sculpt on it? Incredible.
The Ahsoka figure looks much more like the Ahsoka in the series than the than some of the other things they've done. They tried to kind of humanize the other ones, and I think because she's not a human character, they kept it much her look much more the way it was animated, and I think it looks really good. So
check them out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. You'll find Todd there.
That's right.
At any given time.
Yep.
Anytime you go, he'll probably be there.
And when he's not there, he's certainly there in spirit.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Tell him the regular Joe sent you.
And the Joan Jett Funko Pop. That's on my list also.
Oh, so awesome.
Okay. Do we want to talk about briefly some of the non-Marvel stuff and then get it? Because there's not a ton. I mean, there's a ton. There's not a ton that I know.
I'm sure there was a ton of stuff, but not that hit our radar screen.
So Chucky has season 5.
I watched a video that was a compilation of that had every single trailer released at Comic-Con. That's 30 minutes of my life I'll never get back. And it feels like there's Marvel, there's Chucky, there's John Wick, and then there's a crap load of fantasy stuff in there.
I've watched 1, 2, 3, 4 non-Marvel trailers. I think that's all I watched. No, wait. I watched John Wick.
I saw that.
Which John Wick's he's killing.
Looks like a John Wick movie.
It's always good.
Yeah.
It's always good. Picard.
Yep.
I saw that. I mean, hard to call it a trailer. It's a teaser.
It's a teaser.
It really is a teaser.
But it's interesting. Worf definitely has a look.
And it
was nice to see Worf back in makeup.
That was
Michael
the cool
Dorn
thing.
back in makeup.
And I got to say, of everything there, I mean, I was like, really? Rafi's still around? Okay. And she's still got a bad attitude. It's like, just move on, please.
It's interesting. They showed 7 in a uniform.
Yes. Which is really
I thought that was interesting.
Because
spoilers, by the way.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, the prize in that was seeing Worf and seeing what an aged Worf looks like, and I think that's very cool. So.
I hope they don't mess it. I mean, it can't be.
It can't be any worse than all the other.
I mean,
Star
not
Trek
that it was.
It's basically, if they just sit around in chairs
great.
and they talk about one time in the holodeck, it will still be good.
They're just all old. I mean, I'm sorry.
And
Data was not. They didn't show Data.
Well, it's not going to be Data. We're going to see he's not playing Data again. So
he can't.
No.
So they're going to dig up another relative of
Noonien Singh somehow.
Yeah. So
is Brent Spiner in it? They did not show him in that teaser.
They did not, but supposedly he is. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to see Worf. Anyway,
unless he's playing when he's playing Lore or something like that. So, but they said he's not playing Data.
He's Lore. Yeah, Lore. Yeah, but Lore's face is much wider and older. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I watched the Lord of the Rings: The Ring of Power trailer.
All right, I'll take a nap while you guys.
I knew you weren't going to talk about it, so I figured I should jump in. I mean, they're spending all the money on this show, so it looks impressive. I just hope it's good.
But so I saw that with the Game of Thrones trailer, the Dungeons and Dragons movie trailer, and I was like, boy, there's just a lot of.
Well, you needed to space those apart. I watched the Dungeons and Dragons trailer.
Sword slinging.
Does that really got Chris? I didn't watch it, but that
really has Chris Pine in the lead. Yes.
Who's he play? Dungeon or Dragon?
He plays the gelatinous cube.
He's a lute player.
Vecna.
It was actually funny. And
I think it was an interesting angle that they're taking on how they worked their way into a Dungeons and Dragons movie. So I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah.
Because,
Is it in the movie theater?
Yeah, it will be a theatrical
Okay,
release.
I won't see it, but I don't think I'd go
I was actually somewhat intrigued after seeing the trailer to think, oh, maybe they found a way in here that could make it fun. Because when I think of a role-playing game, and I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was in, junior high school or whatever, and I enjoyed it. I'm not ragging on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm not ragging on it in any way. But to take a role-playing experience and try to make a movie, It just doesn't work. But
Yeah,
it
it's
seems
gotta
like
be-
they have found a way in that
It's
could
got to
make
be
it interesting.
evocative of that. There's got to be
Right.
little kind of things in there, little throwaway things that tie into it, and that's,
And that's, I joked about the gelatinous cube because that
Yeah.
was always, but there was one in the trailer. So I think D&D players might find it amusing, and I think the general public might find it, to be a fantasy film that, it might almost hurt it that it's called Dungeons and Dragons. It might have been a better.
I'm wondering if the
fantasy
Stranger
film.
Things has added some cachet
Yeah.
to
that's an interesting thing.
Dungeons and Dragons, because it has the ability to do that.
Is there-
and that what's his face, Eddie Munson is like, I liked him, but it's supposedly he's like the most well liked character in this thing. I mean, so that could add something to it.
And the fact that they made them sort of thieves, and that was one of the classes in Dungeons and Dragons, but they didn't make him like the hero character as much as like they could have made him a paladin or something, but they made him a thief, which could make it leave a lot more room for humor than it would have if he was just a strapping hero swordsman or something. So I don't know, could be interesting.
I wonder if it's going to be as good as Battleship.
Yeah, I was
it's
going to
better
say,
than Battleship.
Battleship is probably the on the bottom, but boy, it's
The
hard
thing
to
that
think
scared
of.
me the
is-
most in the
It is
trailer was
hard
it
to think of a
Not as bad as you think it is.
game-based film that I'm saying that has pleased anybody, and
But the thing that scared me the most in that trailer was it opened up with a logo that then said a Hasbro company, and I'm like,
I know, yeah, I was thinking about that.
Hasbro doesn't make good movies. Sorry.
The closest it's come to working, and it's not a film, is The Witcher, and that hasn't pleased everybody, but it doesn't get the ire that most game related things get from gamers.
And I'll go out on a limb and say if they had avoided one or two of the cringeworthy things in Battleship that tried to tie it back into the game Battleship, it would have actually been a fine movie.
It was okay. I mean, I thought it was clever how they had those projectiles that looked like the pegs.
Looked like the pegs, yeah.
I never saw it.
Oh, you never saw it?
I never saw it.
It's not nearly
horrible.
as bad as you have it
It's
in
not
your
as
head.
horrible as
I'm
you think.
certain. I'm certain I have it made out to be worse than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Shazam trailer.
I didn't
Looked
see that one. I have to watch
Oh,
that.
really? It was good. It's got everyone in it. It was pretty cool.
It does look good, and it's kind of it's interesting in that he's like questioning himself and questioning his role and stuff like that, and it's because they needed to, they kind of built it all up at the end of the last one where they've got to go somewhere from here, and now he's the guy that's like the natural leader of all these people, and
And he's still a kid.
he's still a kid, and he's questioning things like a kid does. I
Are
will
there
say,
too many heroes with capes right now in media? Like between the boys?
I don't necessarily
and-
think so, because this
No?
was not
Well,
created to look like this. This is the existing kid. Also, I like that they went away from the neon chest emblem and went back to the the kind of gold thing. I think it looks better. It's more traditional.
My next thing is a question that relates to what your question is, Barry, sort
Okay.
of. But
Okay.
I thought it looked. I thought it looked cute. I mean, got a lot of humor, so
and it's meant to.
it's probably one of the better one of the Wonder Womans aside. It's probably one of the best things to come out of DC. I mean,
because they didn't lean heavy into the dark thing, and they took a character that's got some absurdity to it, and they I think they did a decent. I think they did
But
a
what
very
I'm
good
thinking
job.
of, I didn't watch this trailer, so I can't comment on it, and I'm sure it's as good as you say it is. But I've seen the Black Adam trailer, and it's just
that's
when
what
I
I'm-
think of
what
those
is-
two
who's he?
characters.
He's
and
got
they-
the same thing on.
They
That's
both
my
have
question.
capes, and they both
because
look
their
similar,
powers
and-
come from the same thing. So he's basically
Because he's got the same emblem.
he is this character, one of this character's predecessors. Okay, so he was previously
why it's confusing now.
well, but they're going to tie it all together eventually. But it's
in what in the Justice League 2?
in the yes, but like I said, it's they're
I like how Todd actually thinks they might actually tie it up eventually. DC
they're-
never
they're-
follows through on anything.
They're taking some totally disused properties, and they're kind of building a universe out of these D-list characters, and I am fine with that they've screwed the pooch so bad with the A-list stuff that, we've never seen a cool live action Dr. Fate, and that looks really good in Black Adam. Hawkman, not so much, but I'm
well, that's interesting. If they both come from somewhere the same place, one looks very humorous and one looks very dark.
Oh yeah.
Now, if it was Marvel doing it, there would be some even minute crossover of them. They'd put one of the characters in and even maybe make a funny moment. I wonder if TC's got
there's going to be something
creative
like that.
juice to do that.
The other thing is this happens half a world away, and it's not. It's meant to be that way. So, again, we'll see what they do with it.
If they don't relate them, then change the freaking costume.
Right.
It looks like the exact same
There's
costume.
no question they are related, and they will eventually tie this in together. But you can't lighten up Black Adam's story to the degree that Shazam is right now. So
I'm not saying that.
You got to come out of Shazam with a little more serious tone before you put these two characters together. So
it'll be like a buddy cop
it will
movie.
never be that. But but having them build a genuinely sympathetic villain, I think is probably not a bad idea. So we'll see. It's I'm cautiously I'm much more optimistic than I am for like the next Aquaman movie or whatever.
Did they even announce that?
Didn't talk about it at all. They're too busy like digitally scrubbing Amber Heard out of there.
Jesus, and they did not talk about the Flash. What are they going to do with that train wreck, Ezra Miller? I don't know if they didn't talk about it.
I honestly do not think that film is going to be on screen in the theater. I do not.
They should digitally change him for someone else, which could not be easy.
No, but I'm saying I do not think that's going to happen. I think unless he's in jail somewhere and cannot screw things up worse, they're just sitting on like a negative.
They can't.
No, but I'm saying.
But isn't that where?
But I mean, isn't
that where Michael Keaton Batman shows up?
Yes.
Yes. I think we're going to see him as Batman.
And in Batwoman, though, too, right?
He shows up in multiple places.
He shows up in
that's
Batgirl.
One of them. Yeah.
Batgirl, not
Though
Batwoman.
it's not clear.
Did they show that?
It's not clear. It's not clear that's the same universe. So that's messed up. So
I don't even love that whole Batgirl. That doesn't look interesting to me at all. I don't know.
Yeah. So
anyway, all right, we got those movies. Hopefully, those are okay.
I think I mentioned this before. Is Commissioner Gordon in that Batgirl is J.K. Simmons, who was Ben Affleck's Commissioner Gordon, but now it's just weird. it's like you just got to not think about it. So
anyway, I didn't.
It's easy. It's so easy to not think about it that I don't even care.
Yes.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
Those two looked okay. That's all. It's funny. Ironically, the only two they show looked okay. So God knows what's going on with the other ones.
So the last trailer that I watched, because I went through all these trailers. I saw everything. I did sit through the trailer for the wrap up of The Walking Dead, and I saw nothing compelling me at all to go back there again.
And they're bringing back Andrew Lincoln too.
Yeah, well, and originally he was supposed to come back for a movie. Now they're saying it's a 6-part series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
did Tales from the Walking Dead or whatever come out?
That's not yet. That's soon though. I think it's August.
And is Olivia Munn in that? I thought I saw a picture of her.
Well, there's like 6 different story arcs, or stories. I don't know how they're doing it, but
not interested.
Just let it die.
Have Maria tell us what goes on.
Put it this way. It's like a rotting corpse just limbering along at this point.
Walking Dead and DC. I don't care about either of them right now.
All right, now here's
but
some
I do care
about
Marvel. There's a lot of cool Marvel stuff.
Wait, a couple of other quick hits that cleanse our palate before we go to Marvel. Orville, all seasons coming to Disney Plus.
Like next week.
Like next 8/10.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think it'll be done by then, but that's good.
No, yeah, it's right after this season finale wraps.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys caught up at all on Orville?
I am caught
up. You're still behind?
Am I caught up?
You're
No,
probably
I'm
one behind.
one behind, I think.
Yeah, I think you're one
Right?
behind.
I'm one behind.
I absolutely love that show this season,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about it at some point.
It is. I think it's great. It's excellent storytelling. It's just so odd. It's like I said. It's the second best Star Trek show on right now. So it bumped Lower Decks. So
They've dialed the humor back.
to where
so
it's
much.
almost not there at all.
Just
Yeah.
but there's some weird situational. We haven't been this drunk since such like it's just odd. I mean, it's
There's
fine.
certain characters who have like humorous, silly arcs. You know what really surprises me is they made such a big deal out of a little fighter thing, and we it's parked in the hangar. It's like we see it in the background of the hangar. And it's like
I feel like it's in the way every time something else
that's
lands.
what
in
I'm
that
saying.
ship.
It's like, but I felt like, oh, there's gonna be some big thing. Like immediately they're gonna have this thing, and no.
The other thing that I find really interesting is that it's in a lot of ways it's got elements of the Star Trek the Motion Picture because they do a lot of long, loving shots of ships from the outside.
They do.
And every time I think that it's going to end, they just keep going. But I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah. Oh, but part 2 of season 2, Resident Alien, starts in a week or two. Also.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, cool.
So add that to your list. Plus, Lower Decks comes back the end of August.
Yes.
So this keeps on adding stuff.
And I saw a headline. I didn't read the article, but it sounded like from the headline, there's going to be a crossover between Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds.
I read that. It's a crossover between Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks, and it'll be live action and animation. I don't know how they're going to make that not be ridiculous.
Yeah. One of my favorite things ever in Lower Decks was when they showed Kirk and Spock. They were animated. They had them. The on screen. It was the Kirk and Spock from the animated series. It was just great.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. I'm hoping it's someone on a holodeck. Well, they don't have holodecks.
Well, maybe they'll get one.
It'd be interesting if it's a Lower Decks holodeck.
That would be interesting. Yeah, totally.
Right, we'll see how they do that. I don't know.
Enterprise thing. Say like have this episode going, and then they like walk into the middle of it. So end simulation, and
this could ruin Strange New Worlds.
No, it's going to be fun.
It could be the jumping the shark moment. I don't know.
It'll be fun.
Also, For All Mankind season 4.
Yes.
Renewed for season 4.
Hells yes.
Alrighty. Okay, so unless there's any other stuff, I'm sure there was a ton of stuff, but whatever. All right.
One other thing, collectible related, which I know we're not going there really, but they had an animatronic Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which, amazing that they're doing it. I'm just going to say this based on the videos I saw. I thought it didn't look as great as it probably should, given what I'm sure the price point will be on it.
So you want puppeteers to be out of their jobs, is what you're saying. So
no, it's a collectible thing.
I know, I'm kidding.
It's Baby Yoda in that pram.
It's a collectible of a fake thing, so it's not going to look real.
But
I don't feel it looked like a real Baby Yoda would look if it was real.
Okay.
It was also being made by EFX, which means you'll never see it.
You never happen.
It'll never happen. So last
Never
collectible thing. Barry, did you cave?
No, I did not.
Oh,
Okay.
I bought 3, so I'll sell you one.
You put it over the top for him, then.
No, Todd
tell
was
people what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The Tomy 32-inch Enterprise is funded, and 2 of the 3 of us are proud future
That's
owners
right.
of that item.
I went deep. I watched all the YouTube videos. I got to be honest, it just the price did not scare me for what it is. It's the size of it that scared me. It's freaking big.
Yep.
I read a thing. There was a lot of Facebook posts over the past 4 days because the thing just wrapped up yesterday, and I'm reading the article, and then first comment, "Oi, the seam," and I'm like, and it wasn't from Barry.
Yeah.
But you know what? They did themselves a disservice by publishing those photos first because,
They answered all that.
I know they did answer all of it, but they could have avoided all of that.
You could have hidden that easily.
They could have avoided all of that backlash.
Angle. Yeah, no question about that.
It made it. So originally it was $3 million. They had to sell $3 million worth to get it funded. It was a crowd-funded thing. Then they cut it in half to $1.5 million. Then at the last 6 days, they cut it, or 4 days, they cut it to $1.2 million, and it wound up almost getting close to $1.6 million. So good for them.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks.
I was
incredible.
charged yesterday.
It looks
Todd,
incredible.
Did you notice you were charged?
I did not notice if I was charged.
Yes, they said you will be charged on the 25th.
So that means
I
got to sell a phaser. So,
and that's honestly, Todd. That's how I was looking at it. Like, because I'm like, I'll just sell my phaser and I'll pay for it outright, no problem. But like, so the price didn't scare me. I think for what you're getting, it's a very fair price.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
if that's what we're getting,
Yep.
if we get something.
But I was really intimidated by the size of it because I just don't know where I'd put it.
Speaking as someone who has no idea where he's going to put a 1/6 scale tumbler.
I think that's
Okay, but you have a 4-bedroom house for 2 people.
Will arrive
I have 5
this
people in
week.
my.
He has a 2-bedroom house for 5 people.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
But
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They all sleep in one bed.
It will.
You don't have Dave's problem where your wife won't let you put anything outside of the one room in the house. So
One.
It's just.
It's 3 rooms, and you know it.
Yeah.
There are 3 rooms. In the
I just
house
like
that
busting
goes
on you.
You should put the Enterprise on the tumbler.
Oh, it's going to. I'm actually thinking like a kind of like a Lucite thing where on level 1 is the tumbler, level 2 is something big and ridiculous that I buy in between, and level 3 the Enterprise sits.
Well, just keep in mind the Enterprise is 20-something pounds, so it can't go on a tumbler.
20 pounds is nothing.
Maybe on a real tumbler, but not on
you
the
get thick,
Hot Toys one.
thick acrylic.
Yeah.
I'm going to be disappointed when I see yours and wish that I had gotten one, but I just couldn't do it because I don't know where the hell I'd put it.
I have no idea where I'm putting it.
It looks amazing, though. It really does. So congratulations to you guys. Hopefully you're as happy with the final product as those the videos are what sold me. Like when they were showing the unpainted model without the seams, it looked amazing. Really did.
I'm actually ahead money on this because I didn't win that rollerball jersey that I would have spent $2,000 on, and this thing was only $600. I have $1,400 to play
right,
with.
yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, $600 for that item, if it looks as good as we think it's going to, it's shipped, free shipping, by the way. $600.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
That's including shipping. That's everything.
It was free shipping.
It's $600 is for the saucer section. You know that, right?
Oh, it's a builder
That's
ship. You
why
have to
it's
pay
what's build to
by
ship.
the piece.
The rest of it is $6,000.
August
600
600 year, you'll get a saucer section.
My point being, $600 for that in die-cast with that level of
I don't know how
detail
they're
with
doing
working lights, it's incredible.
Okay.
The model kit, if I bought that model kit, it's a $150 model kit, and you have to do all of that work yourself.
Again,
Plus all
and
the
then the
extra
lighting kit,
and everything.
the lighting kit's another $150. So
it was almost
you're in almost.
for the droopy, the one with the droopy things that was way overpainted.
You would be in $400 in parts just to buy the things you need to build that model kit, and you need to have the skills to build it, and it's not die-cast.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so last question. Will we have this a year and a month from now?
No.
No. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking January.
They've been
I'm thinking
they're pretty far
January.
along in the production of it.
I feel
four
like
months
it's.
later.
I feel like you're right, Barry. They kept lowering that goal. They have them made, I think.
Yeah, I think that they were so committed that they had no choice but to lower that goal.
I think they're like, okay, we're going to push the button to the production line, not like
Based on the fact that they have the new model that was unpainted, that to me tells me that the tooling is done. They've already sunk the cost on this thing.
They were making this thing one way or another.
This is a toy manufacturer, okay? This is Tomy, right? So this is they've got resources.
They also do high-end collectible die-cast products. If you watch any of the YouTube videos, they show a bunch of the other things that they've done. And they make John Deere die-cast John Deere tractors that cost $400.
I looked at some of that stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they make collectibles for
so this is easy for them.
They make like showroom model cars kind of things.
They make big die-cast car But my feeling is they had already sunk the cost in the tooling, and they probably had the factory time in the factory reserved, and that's why they were able to keep lowering the minimums because the factory wants to make it, and at that point, if you're making 2,000 of them instead of 4,000 of them, or whatever the numbers are,
those were the numbers.
Think about timing. Yeah. Okay, all these people that budgeted $600 to $700 in Eagle Moss over the next year, all of a sudden have no place to put that money. So
there you go.
Yeah,
it did make a surge. I mean, it literally when they dropped it to 1.2 million, it was nowhere. It was not nowhere. It was just over 1 million, and then in like 3 days they added.
It was looking bleak, and you guys didn't even know it funded. I looked at it and saw that it funded and texted you guys. I'm like, oh, you guys are committed now.
Oh, I had been watching it.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, I have been watching it. Okay, here's we go. Marvel. I have it all written out.
3 words.
What?
3 words.
Yes.
Daredevil Born Again. Thank you. Okay.
You're jumping all the way down.
No, I don't care. I'm saying
there.
I have not been saying this for 2 days, and it was killing me. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
So before we go there, and before we even talk about all the stuff they announced, what I thought was interesting was they have given Phase 4 to 6 a name, which is now officially called the Multiverse Saga. So Phase 4 is ending, right?
Phase 4 has 2 things left in it.
Right.
She-Hulk, which comes out
soon.
Next week, 2 weeks. And there's a trailer for that, and it's funny. And they said this is a much more lighthearted kind of thing, which I think it looks good. I'm excited for that.
And Daredevil. Sorry.
I still think that the effects in the new trailer still don't look up to par. And I know it's TV.
It looks better.
She's cartoony looking.
It looks better.
For sure.
You know what? Okay. Her hair looks like a bad Hot Toys figure. Okay?
I think they addressed that though.
It still looks a little like sculpted versus like real, but it looks much better than the last thing they showed us. The last thing they showed us was pretty bad. So they have cleaned it up somewhat. I think it's funny, and I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't realize Mark Ruffalo was in it as much. He seems like he's in it.
He seems like, but I bet you that what they're showing us in the trailer, he's probably in like 2 episodes, and then you never see him again.
It could very well be, but
again at the end.
It's
who else? Well, and Daredevil shows up in it.
Yep.
And then so it's that and Wakanda Forever, and after that that ends Phase 4, and they're calling Phase 4 through 6 the Multiverse Saga. So.
Yeah. And then Black Panther. So Namor's come. This is all online, people. So there's no.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Wakanda Forever trailer,
though.
And I didn't feel like I had any sense of what the hell that movie was.
Were you surprised that with Namor they went with the green trunks? I really thought they were going to go into that, the kind of black outfit that they've pushed.
I don't really. I remember Namor from Fantastic Four,
and that's what I'm saying. Where it was the green,
from way back.
Green
I don't really
and
know
gold accents, but for like the last 2 decades, it's been like black kind of leggings and then like a black vest thing.
I haven't seen him more like the Deep, so he's dressed like the Deep.
Much more like the Deep. Much more like the Deep.
I have a funny feeling we're going to see him in the classic costume, and then he's going to change.
And he's going to change into the other outfit.
But I honestly have not seen that character since the 70s. I don't think
that is. I mean, this is also like a core legacy character that.
But with Black Panther, though, I mean, Black Panther.
It's the Wakanda thing. I mean, it's like it's going to be. I think it's going to be interesting.
And they didn't really establish who Black Panther is, right? I mean,
not at all.
We know. Well, we think it's the sister, right? Could they be pulling a bait and switch and it's going to be someone else?
Who else could it be other than Michonne?
The mother.
I think it's the mother.
No. You think?
Honestly, I think that it's going
Who's it, Angela Bassett?
Until she puts the costume on. Okay, look at that picture, okay? I did a freeze frame.
Got the sense it was her.
I did a freeze frame on that, okay? Very thin calf, okay? Very thin calf. Not a super narrow waist, okay? And I do not think it's the younger sister who's just rail thin. I think it's a woman, and I think it's an older woman.
That would be interesting.
And I think it's just she just like puts the thing on, kicks some ass, and
it could also be
she's
her
in her 60s. She looks
part
great,
of the movie, and it could be somebody else.
Oh no,
I mean, it could change hands in the movie.
It's going to be like there's no one else to do it, and she does it to honor her husband and her son or something.
I feel like that girl. Like you're right. I mean, I don't know how old she is in real life, but she looks like she's like a 14-year-old.
Yeah, no, and you can't have her put the costume on and all of a sudden he bulks up.
Surprised it isn't that Lupita. She could totally do it. She's pretty badass.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's her, because she would have married him.
But she's like I said, just go freeze frame on that shot, and the body type is not right for a man, and it's not right for a young athletic woman. So,
I vote for Lupita. Am I saying her name right? I think I am. Lupita.
I'm not sure.
I'm saying Lupita. That's her with an N as her last name.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah,
who did the voice of Maz Kanata in Star Wars.
Yes, I like her. I think she would be good. Anyway, so that's end of Phase 4.
Yep, and now we know everything about Phase 5 and
everything about Phase 5.
Apparently everything about Phase 6.
On Wakanda Forever, were you surprised they leaned into his being dead?
No, I don't think there's any way around it. You can't.
I think they had to.
You can't not address it.
You think what do you think they would have just sort of not addressed
like
it?
It was no, but I'm saying like there's a big funeral scene and stuff. I mean,
I think it's also the honor.
Oh, I think so too. But I'm saying
I'm
surprised they didn't like pick up 6 months after his death or something. And we'll see.
I wonder how he died. I wonder if it's. I mean, I wonder how they're going to handle that. Is it like a bad guy killed him? Is it just some?
You would think it wouldn't be
the soap opera death where he dies in a plane crash and
or like random car accident. Like you would think it wouldn't be that, but
yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I don't know. All right, Phase 5. I've got the movies listed and I have the TV show listed. They all checkerboard a little, but
and my list goes in order of release, not by that. So okay, you go.
All right, I have dates. Okay, February 23rd, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. And I don't know anything about this character. Well, that introduces Kang, right?
Right.
Well, Loki kind of introduced Kang.
We've seen a version of Kang.
The Loki TV series introduced Kang.
Yeah, which is the dude too. It's the dude who plays
guy.
him.
Yeah.
It's just, but that was like benign Kang. This is full on. Turn it up to 11.
Kang, I don't know anything. He's been around since the 60s. I don't know anything about him.
I do. And this he is Thanos level potential. Okay, he really is. He's basically a guy that every time his plans screw up, he just goes back in time and resets and does it again. So,
but why is he not like even the mild comic book reader? Like I consider myself, I know who Thanos is. I know who Galactus is. I've never heard this guy before.
Fantastic Four and Avengers perennially. I mean, like every 5 years don't go by where Kang doesn't show up.
Okay. And people say he's I don't know people. He has power equal or greater than even Galactus.
I don't know about that, but
okay.
There's also like 2 other characters in Fantastic Four history that are also Kang. They're Kang at different points in his timeline.
I swear to God, comic books can't get anything.
I hope they don't go anywhere near that part.
50 years of history, but it's like.
But what Marvel
Susan
has
Lucci's
done well,
been on the freaking soap opera
and I
for
will
50 years. She
that,
plays the same character.
It is very likely he's no longer Reed Richards' father, but that was a thing for a while.
Let's hope.
Oh my God!
But what Marvel's done well is take all of those different aspects of these characters and boil them down to the best version and put that in a movie.
And
that's
fine. 99% of the people, 92% of the people who see this movie never read a comic book in their life.
And,
but most people never heard of Thanos either.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is fine. They built him over a period of time. They're going to do the same thing with this. It's. I would say he's more powerful than Thanos, but less single-minded. So he's going to be trickier to beat. I think.
Well, he's hanging out for a very long time in the universe,
and that's the thing. He's got a long game. Okay, and
well, it's not as long as Thanos. I mean, year-wise, it's not very long, but we really get down to it, and we'll talk about that. Okay, so that's February. May, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They did not show footage. James Gunn says it's not ready to be seen yet.
Right. But what I've been reading bits and pieces of is that they're saying it will probably go heavy into Rocket's backstory.
Yeah, someone said they were, was there images or drawings or concept art of him as like a baby raccoon.
Yeah,
And I don't know.
They also have the high evolutionary out there who created Adam Warlock. May have had a hand in the comics, anyways. Had a hand in creating the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. He's just basically a guy who just kind of like a superpower old dude that messes with genetics. He's basically trying to create. He's kind of like the Dr. Moreau of the Marvel universe, and he experiments on humans and whatnot, and raccoons apparently. So I think that was
Cosmo the
interesting.
Space Dog is in this
Yeah.
too. I think we've seen him before.
We saw him, but he didn't speak. And Cosmo was a interesting character in the Guardians comics. He actually ran nowhere. He was like the mayor of nowhere, and so it'll be interesting to see where they go with that.
So that'll be exciting. Okay, if we're going in order, Barry, check my math.
Yep.
Then Spring TV, Spring Secret Invasion.
Yep.
Yep.
Spring 23.
Spring 23 Secret Invasion. Maria Hill, right? And
Maria Hill and
Nick Fury.
Okay.
And
and
Skrulls.
Mark this
the
date
Skrulls.
down. Maria Hill's a Skrull and always has been.
Is that in the comics?
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying this is my prediction. She is a Skrull and always
Even
has been.
in How I
All
Met
through
Your
the
Mother?
Avengers movies, everything. You're saying she's
all
been
through
one
How I
this
Met
whole
Your
time.
Mother, all through the
That's
So
why she
Robin
fell for
Sparkles
that
was a
dweeby
Skrull?
Robin Sparkles
guy.
was a Skrull. No, I'm telling you. So in Spider-Man, we saw two Nick Furies: Skrull Nick Fury, and not an actual Nick Fury. Right? We didn't
Yep.
see two Maria Hills. Okay, she has been a Skrull since Ms. Marvel.
They did a good job. They picked a very hot Skrull.
Yep.
Okay. And that's supposed to be dark. I guess they're coming out of So we're actually not going to have. We have She-Hulk Summer 22, and we're not going to have another Marvel series
Until Secret
until
Invasion.
spring of 23. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, more on that later. But so.
Well, but we don't know what spring means. It could be like March, April.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
still,
could
that's
be.
a good
Also,
6 months.
I think we're going to get another season of What If, which they didn't talk about at all. So,
Oh, yeah, they did. There's definitely another season of What If. They didn't say when.
Also, Armor Wars. Never
They
mentioned
didn't
that.
mention that.
And that was supposed to be like 2023.
That could be pushed to 2024
and
because there's a lot of empty
the
slots.
character that the Ironheart character that they're setting up in Wakanda Forever was supposed to transition to Armor Wars, but
Who's Ironheart? It's a person?
it's a girl. The girl that you see making the armor that cuts the little heart-shaped thing out of the chest piece of armor
Where'd I see that?
in the Wakanda Forever.
Oh, I didn't study that trailer.
She's
I'll
an
have to
awesome
take a better
character,
look at it.
and if
Is it Tony Stark's daughter?
no, she's a like a 15-year-old like genius MIT student who's like
I like
who
that.
basically gets Tony Stark's original plans and then goes through and upgrades and makes her own armor at a point when he's dead in the comics, and it's really good. She's a great character, and I hope they do it well. And I hope she
All right,
has.
Barry, we're
jumping
running
all over the
along.
place.
We're gonna. No, I'm just saying. I know you want to be done at certain times. We're gonna go through this. Okay. So where She-Hulk's gonna be light, they claim Secret Invasion is gonna be dark. Good. Next is the Marvels, July 20 of 23. The Marvels, Captain Marvel 2, basically, which I'm
Right.
assuming has this girl from Ms.
Yes.
Marvel in it and some other people.
Yep.
They showed nothing on that, I don't think. Summer 23, back to TV Echo,
Yep.
which we know will be better because Charlie Cox and Vincent
D'Onofrio are in it.
So there's a chance for that. Summer 23's got a lot of freaking television.
There's a lot
Loki
in 23.
season 2, summer
Loki
of
season
23.
2, Yep.
Hopefully it's better than season 1, in my opinion. Fall, Ironheart. Fall of 23, Ironheart. So that's 4 series so far in 23. Back to the movies, Blade in November of 23. They didn't show anything of that. They haven't cast it other than that Marshala Ali dude as Blade. I haven't talked about that. I'm curious. All these we'll get there. I have a question at the end. I'll get there. Stop me if you need to talk about something. Winter 23, probably December because it goes into 24.
Yeah.
Agatha,
which they renamed the show.
Yes,
they renamed the show.
Which kind of makes me think that it's probably not just her. It's probably going to be an ensemble thing.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Because that character was good in small doses, but an entire series just dedicated to her could be too much. In my opinion.
All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TV series coming out in 23. Then 24, May, Captain America, New World Order. We talked about that last week. I'm a little afraid of that.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Then
Todd is sitting down.
Nothing much in spring of 24. Then.
But the thing that blew my mind, they're saying that Daredevil Born Again is an 18-episode season.
First season, he was very specific to say first
18
season.
episodes.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
So, here's my thing. On Netflix, we had 8 episodes worth of content in 13 episodes. Right. They know that. Okay? There's got to be like 2 separate story arcs or something here justifying 18 episodes.
I freaking hope so.
Or we're getting 9 episodes, 2 months off, because they're not telling us a lot else, and then 9 episodes.
So spring 24.
Or something like that. Because
now let me ask you this. Didn't you say, and I had the trade paperback of Born Again that I think I read a few years ago, but I have it in my closet. Isn't that what some of the Netflix show was based on?
The last season borrowed a lot from Born Again. The whole Sister Maggie thing, the thing with his...
You think they're going to redo some of that?
I think they're taking the title. I think they're taking the title of one of the best Daredevil series ever, and they're using it in a semi-ironic way.
It makes sense because it fits in that they're Born Again from Netflix and all that shit.
Okay. Here's the thing, right? Most of the Netflix, most of the Disney Plus shows have been between 6 and 8 episodes. Andor, we know, is going to be 12, and that feels like a lot. 18 episodes is a lot.
I don't think
that's almost a broadcast network schedule.
It almost is, and that's where,
shows.
like I said, but I'm wondering whether we're gonna. This is it. This is going to be what we get of Daredevil.
He said, I'm pretty sure he said season 1. If that just is the way he worded it,
that's bizarre.
18's a lot.
Daredevil, to me, was the best of all the Netflix Marvel shows. I liked it a lot. I'm looking forward to this, but 18 episodes has me a little concerned.
We'll see.
I hope it's like 3 great story arcs and not, 18 episodes of the same story being dragged out.
I mean, that's the thing. I wonder if it's
not
the proof
18 episodes
point.
of 24. It's like it's just they've got to divide it up. It's got to have some. Yeah. The other thing, too, is they've got a bunch of other characters that were left hanging out there.
I was just going to say, do you think they're going to bring Foggy back? Do you think they're going to bring
I'm thinking
back?
beyond that. I'm thinking, do we see Jessica Jones? Do we see maybe Luke Cage? We'll never mention the other guy again.
Iron Fist.
Potentially the Punisher. This is supposed to be much darker than anything else they've done. So
there's a lot. I don't know.
Well, and not related, but kind of related is that they did just bring Deadpool 1 and 2 to Disney Plus. Like Disney Plus is now showing R-rated content. Yeah. And I think part of that was to help lay the groundwork for some of what they want to do.
Well, interesting also, and again, we don't know everything. All right, without going deep into Phase 6, which they did just announce, the first thing that they say on the timeline, again, and if the timeline's right, the first thing in Phase 6 is November 24. So if you go from, say, Agatha's got maybe 3 episodes in January, then you've got Daredevil. There's nothing that they have announced that's in 24 other than Daredevil.
No, that's not true.
No,
Captain
of TV.
America. Oh, for
Of
TV. Okay, for TV.
Again, that could change because there was a bunch of blank stuff. But the very first thing in the Phase 6 sort of timeline was November 24. So, I don't know. Before we finish out to go there, so Phase 5, last thing in Phase 5 is Thunderbolts, a movie.
I had to look it up to see what it was. It sounds like it's their version of the Suicide Squad.
It is their version of Suicide Squad, but they've got characters enough to do this. So it's
like who?
What's that?
Who's
they're
in it?
saying
Zemo.
it's like it's Zemo,
not-
it's Maria.
Oh, yeah, they
Popova,
mentioned that, Zemo.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Zemo, U.S. agent, have been in Thunderbolts for 15 years. Okay, maybe longer.
Plus Elaine.
Right, and then
Black Widow's sister.
They said all that.
Yeah,
Abomination.
But that's a movie.
That's a movie.
Yep.
Now, this just popped in my head. We haven't heard a freaking word about the Eternals. If they just
that's done.
bailed on all of that,
There's no way they're going back to that well.
The Eternals will return if you watch this movie again.
And what about Shang-Chi?
He could show up in one of these Avengers movies.
I'll give you that. So let's go to Phase 6 because there were as many spaces on the board for Phase 6 as there are.
But we
in
only know
Phase
about
4.
3 things for sure.
They easily could throw Shang-Chi. I think Shang-Chi did okay. They could throw him into Phase 6.
Yeah.
So November of 24, Fantastic Four. Everyone's excited about that.
Yep.
God knows who the hell they're going to cast in that. Now, all these other things, like who's the supporting characters in Blade, who's the other characters in Thunderbolt, but these are like big casting things. They got to really, those are 4 iconic roles that they have to fill with the right people.
Yeah. Well, I would think they're at least looking at John Krasinski. I mean, he was Reed Richards already. So it'd be surprising if they didn't go for him.
They don't.
I think
people don't change who they are in another universe. They're usually the same person.
Yeah.
For the most part, right?
Did you watch that
Peggy
movie?
Carter was Peggy Carter.
Did you watch that movie? There was 4 different versions of Doctor Strange. So,
but it's still Benedict Cumberbatch.
Same actor. You're saying okay?
You're saying the same actor.
Yes,
I mean the same looking person.
No,
it's not like one's a rock.
I think it would be very surprising for them to have a different Reed Richards. Yes,
I think that Krasinski would have to negotiate his way out of this movie. Like he'd have to ask for too much money.
He wants this movie. He's been talking.
There's no way he did that without having signed on the dotted line already. And you think Emily Blunt's going to be his wife?
I think that would be great.
I think
she'd be a good Sue Storm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'd be a great Sue Storm. And The Rock as.
I hope they figure out
The Rock as the thing.
I really do because I just hope that they do it in a way that it just seems like if they can do Korg, they should be able to do the thing.
I agree, and actually, I think Korg is like the template for the thing, and I think they could make a good looking thing that works.
That doesn't need to be. Look at Groot and Rocket. I mean, those are completely animated. Rocket has more personality than most characters in any other movie. If they get the right voice actor to play him, they totally could do that.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. There's no way they're putting a guy in a costume.
No.
What was it in that crappy movie with
it was a costume.
Was
Michael
it?
Chiklis was in a costume.
No, not that one, the one after that.
I guess it was
I don't remember that
standing
movie.
there, but
Miles Teller.
Yeah.
One.
Wait, there was no fantastic. Oh no, you're right. There was.
I forgot. It's like a trauma that you have blocked
Kate
out.
Mara.
Yeah,
right.
It's
I
like
forgot
a trauma
about it.
you blocked out.
Wasn't what's his face in it?
Much
Was
like the director who went from this is the greatest thing ever to this is a movie they made me do.
Disavowing himself.
Now,
yeah.
Who was Johnny Storm? Was it freaking
no,
Michael Jordan?
From yes, yeah.
I forgot that.
So
movie
he's been
existed.
He's been in the. It's funny, like Chris Evans, he's played two
we
roles
talked about that in
in
the show one time. That is the segue to getting a role in the MCU is to play Johnny Storm.
And who played the Thing?
I'm looking it up.
And was it a costume? I don't remember any of that.
Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Camera.
It'd be so funny
Michael
if they
B.
just
Jordan.
spray painted Korg orange.
A guy named Jamie Bell.
That's a dude. But it must have been. It couldn't have been a costume.
I
for the life of me, don't
I doubt
remember
it.
what
Yeah,
it looks like.
doubt
And
it.
I've seen that movie. It's horrible. Okay. So then, Phase 4, a bunch of empty slots, and then the very end of Phase 6, 6 months apart, Avengers, Kang Dynasty. So we're going to see Kang all through Phase 5, I'm sure. And then that's in May of 25, and then in November 25, Avengers Secret Wars. And the Russo brothers are not directing it. Kevin Feige said that. Because they said they would like to come back to direct the Secret Wars, and Kevin Feige said they're not.
So,
interesting.
2 tangentially connected films, 2 different teams of Avengers.
You think?
Yep. One of them is going to have all the kids. One of them is going to be Scott Lang's daughter, Ironheart, Ms. Marvel, with an adult mentor. But I'm telling you, you're going to have 2 different teams. It's going to be young
That's
Avengers.
the next question is like, who's the Avengers?
It's going to be young Avengers, legacy Avengers. And there's not a lot of legacy Avengers.
Well, are we picking up legacy Avengers along the way? Blade, is he an Avenger? Is Shang-Chi an Avenger? Is one of the Guardians an Avenger? I mean, are we going to pick up Avengers as we go? Well, the other thing is, this is at the end of Phase 6, and there's 8 slots of things between Fantastic Four and the end of Avengers. Right. So there could be some standalone movies.
Still not telling us,
Silver Surfer or whoever the hell's in the.
But
Avengers.
I was surprised they gave us as much as they gave us this far out. So I didn't expect them to lay out everything for the next 3 years.
Can you? No, I certainly can't. Is there a level Avenger that we haven't seen yet? I don't really know who's all in the Avengers.
No.
Is there a B level Avenger that could be better?
No.
Well, I mean, some of the Fantastic Four members could show up as Avengers, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see the X-Men in here too.
I would bet you 2 of those slots are X-Men films.
Well, and I haven't. Well, you know what? I don't even want to say what I was going to say, so forget that.
So I don't know the roster of X-Men.
I've heard that there's something out
Avengers.
there that indicates X-Men are coming. But I haven't watched it yet, so I don't want to.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm annoyed every time I read that headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of is there any A or B character, and it doesn't need to be, who existed in the Marvel universe that we haven't seen yet.
Think about this though. You got a new Black Widow, you got a new Hawkeye, you got Ant-Man's daughter, you got, like I said, they're going to build a team.
I'm sure they are.
Team of younger Avengers that they can ride on for 10 years. And that's what one of those 2 films is going to be. And the other is going to be
But there are still a few people in play that could still show up here, right?
This is where they're going to bow
Thor
out.
still.
This is where they're going to bow out.
Captain Marvel could show up. Spider-Man
yeah.
could show up. Thor could show up.
New Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know, I'm sure he's going to be
New Black Panther.
So
do you
still
know
some...
the story behind Secret Wars at all?
Someone takes all the good guys and bad guys and brings them onto a planet, and they fight each other.
That was the original Secret Wars. The follow-up in 2015,
2000s?
I think, was a Skrull story where they found that several heroes had actually been replaced by Skrulls for a considerable amount of time. So this could tie into, the earlier series,
Secret Invasion,
and you could have the kids don't trust the adults.
But the Skrulls aren't bad guys at this point.
Not all of them,
right?
Well, I think we're going to find, for Secret Invasion to be anything, we're going to have good Skrulls and bad Skrulls. We're going to have the Skrulls that are going to work with Nick Fury all along, and then other ones.
Well, they certainly gave us a lot.
There's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So got me excited about Marvel again, which
it's crazy.
I was starting to feel
for Fantastic Four.
I was starting to feel some Marvel fatigue, so I was excited by some of this stuff. Some of it I'm not as excited about, but it's just good to know there's enough that I am excited about, that, and hopefully the other stuff will be better than I expect it to be.
I know the movies. Well, that's not true. I was going to say the movies. Is there any? Guardians of the Galaxy is great, and Ant-Man and Wasp was good. The rest, up until Fantastic Four, the Thunder, all that, Captain America, I'm scared of. The shows. Which Barry? What show are you the most excited about?
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Todd. We know it's Agatha. So. He's wearing an Agatha shirt.
I'm looking forward to Daredevil, but I love Nick Fury, and
in the short term, Secret Invasion is what I'm looking forward to. In the long term, obviously, it's Daredevil.
I think there's a lot out there, and I think hopefully they could. Nothing's been horrific, so it's like Echo, or Echo seems like a bad idea to me. Maybe they'll make it into something good. Now, Ironheart, from what you just described, sounds interesting to me.
And I think it's like I said, the stories have been really good. I really like the character a lot. I didn't think I would. I really like the character a lot. So when the stories take place, Tony Stark is dead, and she's basically her mentor is an AI that's programmed with Tony Stark's personality. So kind of interesting if they went that way. If they just get Robert Downey Jr. in the studio and just have him
oh, that'd be cool.
Record. You're doing
He's
it
in
wrong.
It as a voice.
It's like,
that would be cool.
Yep.
They'll pay him $10 million to do that.
Yeah. And that would be amazing. And so. Yep.
Okay, that's a lot. Anything else from San Diego Comic-Con? We've gone an hour and 15 minutes on a 45-minute show.
Now, what else is new?
We can talk. There's no doubt about that.
That went quick though, because there's a
lot to cover. Yeah.
So,
and I was happy that the San Diego Comic-Con Black Series exclusive figure was something I had absolutely no interest in.
Oh, what was it?
It was like a Boba Fett that was painted black.
Oh yeah.
Boba Fett in disguise. Actually, a good friend of ours was there and sent me the code if I wanted to buy one, and I was like, you know what? Give it to somebody else. I'm skipping this one.
What did we buy from the last convention?
Oh, it was the Jon Favreau.
That I'm excited.
Mandalorian figure.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. This was literally a Boba Fett painted black with like a staff of some kind. Wow, wow.
Yeah. All right. Lots to look forward to. Any last thoughts?
No, I think I was going to mention Paul Sorvino, but we covered that. So
we got a text.
Yeah.
Let's just see if I can find it here. From YT.
Whitey sent us something. I don't remember what it was.
YT.
Oh, I do.
He. Oh no, that's not it. Hang on.
Oh, he said
he was unhappy that we were.
He was unhappy. Yes,
bashing Scientology.
Bashing Scientology.
He wanted to voice that he wanted to put on record that he was offended by our Scientology mockery.
I didn't mock. I'm sure it wasn't me. It was
there
probably
were
Todd.
two happy faces after that, so I'm not quite sure how to interpret that. But
anything Tom Cruise does is the right thing.
On behalf of the regular Joes, I will say we do not mean to impugn any religion that's an actual. Not bullshit religion. Okay. So.
I think, no offense to everybody, they're all bullshit religions.
We only make fun of the religions that are based off of bad science fiction novels.
Yes. Or founded by bad science fiction writers.
Well, that could be a whole nother show
Yeah.
because I think they're all based on science fiction novels.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
And
Science
with
fiction
that,
And/or fantasy.
a remark that's going to get me struck by lightning.
I was going to say, hey, I worship the great bird of the galaxy. What can I tell you?
Exactly. Well, I don't know about that either. That's
It's
just
all
messed up.
about what is
No,
his name?
that's
It's
an
all about-
ideal to aspire to, not a person to aspire.
What is it?
to
I
be
know
like.
one of it's all about
and banging something
and banging chicks.
That's
I know
right.
that.
And something and bagging chicks. Yep.
Yeah.
So
And on that horrible note, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
thanks for listening.